Hi everybody, it's Mike Newman. It's Monday morning finish line. It's the 16th of September, third Monday of the month. I don't know what that means, but it's the third Monday of the month. One Peoria race down to, if you want to count state, 3 to go. Do we have anything to talk about today? Is there anything to talk about? No? Oh, okay. Well, that's the show then. Have a great week. We'll see you in Peoria for Richard Spring Invitational. This is Mike Newman from Monday Morning Finish Line. Have a great afternoon, day. Okay, I just got a text from Roland Hopkins, who's, if you don't know Roland, he's the guy that does speed ratings in Illinois. He said that I have to do the show. Roland is like that. But check his site out, IllinoisCrossCountrySpeedRatings.com. If you want to know where your team is, you want to know where your runners are compared to other runners nationally, Roland is your guy. He does a great job. So I guess I have to do the show. Well, there is plenty. I was just giving you a little whatever. It was a good weekend. Temperature, it was really weird. It got warm in the afternoon at Detweiler. I mean, first 4 races in the morning, cool. It started to heat up a little bit by the end of the 2A boys race. The 2 open races came on and the temperature just went up. But we'll talk about the 3A races. We're gonna let's start with Tatum David from Olney, Richland County. Now, I had seen her, I'd seen her shadow at Detweiler at dark because you could hardly see anything, while they were running. And I knew that she had run 4:58 during outdoor track at Festival of Miles, and she ran 16:55 at Detweiler. And then she goes out and runs 16:37. I received a message on the way home. She went out too fast. She went out she went out 5:15 for the mile, not 5:13. She was about 2:28 the half, not 2:26. Get your facts straight. And then she pulled away from Ava Perec to win by 30 seconds. It's normal, if you're talented, you go out that fast. And we'll talk a little bit about that a little bit. But there's another freshman, I remember 3 years ago, that went out that fast, and at state she ran 16:31. I think we know who we're talking about here. So, don't send me messages or just send something. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, and I don't mind it. I looked at it. I took a stop on the way home, and I looked at it. I'm like, oh, come on. She ran under control. And she looked under control at the end. And she sounded under control with this interview.
Tatum David of Olney, Richland County. 16:35, holy smokes, congratulations.
Thank you.
You ran 16:55 here at Detweiler at dark. Did you expect this kind of a time today?
No, I didn't.
Okay. You were here at Detweiler at dark in July. What were you expecting on the first half mile? You've had a little bit of experience there.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting super fast or anything, but I was hoping that I'd get out fast for that half mile and be in the lead.
Did you expect 2:26, 2:27 at the half?
No, I didn't.
You have a big field in here with Ava Perec. You saw what Ava did last week. Did that get you a little bit nervous coming into this race?
Yes, I was nervous before this, but yeah.
A little nervous.
Yeah.
What were you expecting to go by the mile? And you were about 5:15, 5:16.
I was hoping around 5:20, about that area.
And you've had the big meet experience at Festival of Miles. You run 4:58. You kind of blew away the field here. Any butterflies coming into this race?
Yeah, I was pretty nervous before this race, but
those nerves kind of went away
Yeah.
when you had the lead.
Yeah.
At 2 miles, did you look back at all during the race? I mean, like in the triangle, or
Yes, I looked back once, and I felt pretty good. So
you look pretty good coming in. It's one of the top freshman times ever on this course. You ran 17:46 in your first meet of the year. You broke the meet record, I don't know, by a lot.
yeah.
That confidence must have been enormous coming into this race.
Yeah.
It was. What's next for you? What are you going to race next?
The next meet I have is a hometown invite. So
When's your next big meet?
big meet. Why not till like state? So I mean, we don't really have that many big meets.
Well, maybe the sectional races.
Yeah, the
you're
sectional
gonna
will be bigger.
Yeah, but you're going to be so far ahead of
Yeah.
everybody else. Sorry, State. She's going to be so far ahead. I can't wait to see you race next.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see you race on the national stage because I think you're going to be going to NXN. You're that good of a runner. So great job today,
Thank
Tatum.
you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So she ran great. We'll see the next time that we're going to see her run in a huge race is maybe they change her schedule, but it'll be at state meet. She's going to be the odds-on favorite in 2A. You've got Stromson, who looked good on Saturday running the 3A race. You have Perek, who will run better. Marianne Mijas hasn't raced yet this year. She'll be up there. So it'll be a good race. So 16:37, 17:07. I looked at Perek's speed ratings on Roland's site, and she had the same speed rating in Peoria that she did in Hinsdale the week before. And this is, and then coming back the next day and running a 4:48 mile, and then she raced this week, and she'll be at Richard Spring the following week looking for a faster time. So, and she was a little disappointed afterwards. Nothing to be disappointed when you're running that good, 17:02 at the beginning, or 17:07 at the beginning of the year. So we'll see good things from her later on this year. Let's go through each of the 6 class races. And you can watch videos of those on ilxctf.com or ilxctf.runnerspace.com. They're going to be in one of those 2 places, or the meet page first to the Finish.com on Runner's Space. The 1A girls race, I saw the Winnebago coaches before the meet started, and I'm like, you look pretty impressive at Oregon. Oh, we hope to do just as well this time. Yeah, right. They scored 43 points, 4 in the first 10. They looked really good. I mean, 43 points. Now, at Rock Falls scores 112 points, and I thought it was a bigger margin, but they ran 5 in the first 32. They're not out of this thing, and nobody's out of it. It's the beginning of September, middle of September. So they were second. Normal University was third with 118 points. They had their pack a little bit farther back. We'll get to see their true selves at the beginning of October. We'll have an idea. I'm starting to rock back. 1A boys, individually, and 1A girls, Lydia Roller. Always liked talking to her. She ran 17:27, and she's been under the weather for the last week, and she explains her sickness and her race strategy for the next few weeks.
I read in the paper earlier this week that you were sick. Were you sick at Granite City?
Yeah, so we had a local meet the Tuesday before Granite City, and my plan was to run that as a tempo, and then the day before I got sick. So, like, the past couple weeks I've been taking real easy runs, and yeah, I was pretty sick for Granite, and then I'm still, like, at the end of my cold right now.
So you look pretty good. I mean, you went out under control. You were about 2:45, 2:46-ish, and then about 5:35 at the mile. How are you feeling during that first mile? You broke away from the pack early.
Yeah, that was my goal, to break away from there. I was feeling really good at the mile mark, and then, like how it happened in Granite, my lungs started hurting. I get cold-induced asthma, so
Okay.
like I have to use my inhaler a lot, and it gets tough after like the halfway point. But I'm happy with today how it went.
You should be. I mean, to go through points like that in races, it's going to help you in October and November. Goals, I know you have high goals this year, and 1A is a little bit tougher this year too. How did that spur you on during the summer?
I mean, it's definitely motivating. Like just to know like what I have to train or run in order to like to even be close to winning state. So I kind of changed my schedule a little bit. I'm going to Roy Gurak in 2 weeks to race.
Oh, you are
Yeah.
fantastic.
I just want to get some like national exposure, I guess. I want to that way like I can get pushed and stuff, so that I'm ready for state.
That's a hilly course too.
Yeah.
Are you going to run next week at Notre Dame?
No, that last year I felt like 4 weeks of hard racing was too much, so I'm going to take a week off and then I'll run at Roy Gurak.
Smart, very smart.
So, great interview with Lydia. She's going to be running at GRIAC in 2 weeks. That'll be interesting to see. A lot of good Illinois runners going up to GRIAC to show out those Heartland runners. Okay, that's all I'm going to say on that. 1A boys, Dawson Smith pulled away in the triangle, not the cow's head, the triangle. Do I have that map? I don't have that map here. I don't have that map. I'll find the map the next time. I have the old map when I was running, what it looked like. And then you can see why it was called a triangle. God. Never mind. So Dawson Smith, 14:58, makes a move. Wins by 13 seconds, or 14 seconds over Noah McIntyre. And Miles Shepard, the sophomore from Harvard, or Hamilton, Warsaw, West Hancock. I don't know what the name of the school is. But 15-17 for third. And Stanford Olympia, they look good. I mean, they went out hard, and I don't think they needed to go out that hard. I think they could have maybe tried a different strategy, and because they started to fade during the second half of the race, but they still had all 7 runners within the top 29. Their normal 6th and 7th runners, Dare and Ragland were their 4th and 5th, and then Parker Kistner and Logan Wheeler were 6 and 7 for Olympia. But 68 points, they look good. They should be the top. Well, they should be the top team. Haven't calculated that out yet. They should be the top team in 1A. Urbana University, 2 runners in the top 10. They had 119. Latin School, which has sophomores and freshmen, maybe a few juniors in it. They surprised a lot of people. They were ranked 14th. They scored 178 points for third. Elmwood, 197 points. They run in flats until state series, and they put their spikes on, then they race. And fourth with 197, they looked impressive. They moved up during the second half of the race too. 2A girls, we had already talked about Tatum, and we already talked about Ava Perek. Vernon Hills, 4 runners in the top 19. The 5th runner is back. They'll get a 5th runner closer. They're going to need to. They had 87 points winning the team championship. Latin School, 143 for second, and they didn't have Marianne Mijas. She's training. She'll be back soon, maybe next week. I know maybe for Naperville Twilight. We will have to wait and see. Dixon was 3rd with 195, Dunlop 4th with 203, and then Belvedere North, defending champions, 5th with 248. Gianna Sagona, their number 1 runner last year, hasn't raced yet this year. She raced on Saturday. She was 15th. Didn't have Madison Dirks. I'm guessing she was taking ACTs, and she didn't race. So Belvedere North hasn't showed their true hand. 5th place finish isn't indicative where they are right now. 2A boys, the surprise was people are asking, who's that guy? Who's that guy that took the lead at 2 miles? Oh, it was Sam Lang of Morton. Sam ran a great race. He got 51st at state last year. He didn't have a great race at state. But he's come on strong to run 14:47. He looked good doing it, winning that. I don't know what happened with Charlie Smith. He was supposed to be racing. I don't know if he's injured. He hasn't raced in his first 2 races. Anthony Farmer, 2nd at 15:04. Austin Adams, former Canelan football player, Mr. Joe Football becomes Joe Cross Country. I'm telling you, he was 3rd. Wilson Georges of Limestone has really improved with 4th. Daniel Acapinti, 5th. Caneland, 2 runners in the first 5, and they won by over 100 points, 71 points. They're the team to beat in 2A right now. Hopefully they don't have injuries, but they're a deep team. Then Marmion at 185 to 71. Jeez. St. Ignatius 190, Dixon at 199, and Sycamore and Wheaton St. Francis tied at 251. Then we get to the 3A girls. And so they had the open races in the middle, and then you got to the afternoon race at 1 o'clock, and it was getting warmer. It was 80 degrees. I checked the temperature beforehand. It was about 80, 81 degrees. So there are certain runners in this world and in the state right now that can go out, blow up the pace early on, and blow everybody away. I mean, Caitlin Hart. I call it the Nuke Lelouch, from Bull Durham, the Nuke Lelouch theory. Announcing your presence with authority. There are some people that can get away with that. Now, there are some people that cannot. And then you see them fade way, way, way back. Like during the 2A race, I'm looking around, and there's this one guy who's looking around. He's like, I'm in the lead. Oh my gosh. Well, he fell back. So there are some times to announce your presence with authority. And there's other times when it's hot that you'll get a 3-run home run hit off your pitch. So Hart can get away with that. I think Tatum David can get away with that. And we've seen other runners that can get away with that. In the girls' race, Helena Claronimos pushed the pace early, and she faded a little bit, but she held on and she got 5th. Credit her. She looked like she was dead at 2 miles, but she held on, she toughened up, she got through it, and she got 5th. So that was a great race by her. Molly Fitzpatrick, Barrington, let me tell you about Barrington. 4 runners in the top 28, 3 in the top 12. They're a good team. They got to find a 5th. But they were 3rd in the race. Naperville North, who doesn't have Campbell Peterson, Dan Iverson, their coach, said that she should be racing in 2 weeks. But Naperville North, 46 points, 5 in the first 15. Yorkville, with Claronimus up front, 93 points, had a gap between her and the pack, but the pack there was only a 5-second gap between their 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th runners. They ran a great race. 93 points for 2nd. Barrington 3rd with 127. Molly Fitzpatrick got outkicked by Katrina Schlenker. Batavia didn't run 3 of their top 5 in that race. Little minor injury to Mia Gianfrancesco. Katrina Schlenker is still not ready to race yet. And Audrey Pellico was taking ACT. So Batavia was back. They're a team I would keep an eye on. And the 3A boys, it really got warm. And here again, the teams that held back and pushed in the middle of the race, pushed at the end of the race, good things happened to them. You had New Trier, 24-second split on 5. They win it with 150 points. Well, Bonzi Valley, they really impressed me. They were ranked 25th coming in. They didn't have a good race the week before at St. Charles. They listened to their coach, and they went out. There was a 5-second split on them on 5 at 2 miles between 9:52 and 9:57, and then they moved up at the end. They moved at the end like gangbusters, and they get 2nd with 173 points. Oswego East was 4th with 174. So yeah, there's going to be a jumbling up in those rankings. I don't know what's going to happen with that. Jared Crease of Lincoln Way East pushed the pace. He had a big 10, 11 second lead at 2 miles. And Gilmero Abera and Tyler Cushing tried to make a move on Crease in the last 100 meters. He was looking back, saw that they were coming. He made a little bit of a push at the end. He ran 14:35, fastest time of the day for the boys, and then 14:38 for Abera, out-leaning Cushing. So that's what happened in Peoria. Impressive. I don't know if we have a good idea of who should be where ranking-wise. We'll have a better idea next week after Richard Spring. But let's go on to a few other meets. Lake Park, 2 big teams in the boys, number 2 and number 3. St. Charles East 28, Wheaton Warrenville South 48. Bobby Liking, 14:41 winning it, and then Mika Wilson 14:51 was in fourth, Aiden King 14:54 in 5. They had a 42-second split, excuse me, on 5 runners. Wheaton Warrenville South had 5 in the first 19. Their pack was a little bit back. Their 4, 5, 6 were back a little bit. Couldn't counteract what St. Charles East had that day, but they had 48 points. 55-second split on 5. So interesting, those two teams will face each other at Richard Spring again next week. So it'll be interesting to see how both teams react. Alice Abbott on the girls' side, 17-10 winning that. Naomi Ruff, good race for her from South Elgin in 17:33 per second. And then Delaney Engel and Audrey Allman, 3-4 from Glenbard West. Now, Caitlin Hart on a college visiting trip would have given them 3 runners in the first 5. And they would have won by 10 points over York. York has a good young team, nice pack. 62 points, Glenbard West 82, but it would have been 52 to 62, or 53 to 63, something like that. But York looked good. At Springfield, the Lee Hallberg meet at Lincoln Park tough course. Carter Shore and Dylan Blake from Mundelein 1-2. Mundelein wins it with 43 points. Monticello, no Luke Sokolowski, but they're at one of the top 1A teams in the state, 79 points. And then Shannon Glenwood, who's number 2 in 2A, they had 85 points in 3rd. On the girls' side, Olivia Rosenstein, 17:56. Olivia Hartke of Normal Community, 18:10. And Monticello, on the girls' side, 49 points. Normal Community 71, and Chatham Glenwood 90. And then Urbana 93 close to them. At Forest Park in Missouri, I just wrote down Nico got 2nd in the Green Division, which is the biggest division there. Nico Dovolowski, 4th place overall, so great job by Nico Valley there. Peyton Schipple of O'Fallon, I hope I'm saying that right, Peyton. She won the individual green race, and O'Fallon got 3rd. So great job by them. And then Amelia McLean won the gold race, ran 20 minutes on that course. So that's a good time. So, there we have that. You want to talk about sectionals? Sectional assignments came out Friday. 1A, no real surprises. They moved little pieces around. Paxton Buckley Loda was in Lisle last year. They moved back down to Effingham St. Anthony. That's where they should be. Little moves here and there, but nothing major. 3A, same thing. The only team that moved was Lockport moved from normal and moved up to the Hinsdale Central section, making that a little bit tougher. Then there's 2A, which I had made a map for 2A, and then I went back and I looked at it late last night, and I can make sense why the IHSA did it, but you move Aurora Marmion, you move Illinois Math and Science Academy up to Belvedere, and I could see that along with Burlington Central and Caneland. Last year they had a sectional in Caneland, and so they could keep those teams down in the middle area, the Chicago area. Fenton sectional got tougher, especially on the girls' side, where you have Vernon Hills, who we saw ran great at Peoria. They moved them down to Fenton. So you have Fenton, you have St. Ignatius, and you have Lanton School. So that's going to be a tougher sectional. And the one sectional that I can't say the word I want to use, but I think on the girls' side there are 2 ranked teams there. You have Bennett Academy and you have Lamont and nobody else. Bennett Academy can run their they can run their C squad. They can run their C squad. Sorry, Brook C, that's how it is. And they would still win. And I think that we're going to see from that sectional the 23rd, 24th, and 25th place teams in the state from that sectional. It's just the way it is. When you see the sectional rankings that I'm going to put out on Tuesday and Wednesday, you'll see why. Also, on the boys' side, Bennett should have a cakewalk in that sectional. They're running it at Thornridge, so they're running it around the campus there. So that's going to be an interesting course. But then again, you know what? If you want to host a sectional, find a way to host a sectional. If you're going to complain that, oh, this and all that, well, volunteer to the IHSA that you're going to do that. So they had trouble finding sites. There's still a few sites that are open. So, but they'll fill them. They'll find somebody that'll host. So, what else? That's about it. Big weekend coming up. You have Manuka. You have Dunlap's a good meet. The big enchilada is back at Detweiler this weekend. Richard Spring Invitational. You have on the girls' side, you have Hinsdale Central, you have Wheaton Warrenville South, you have Latin School, you have Glenbard West, you have Caitlin Hart in there, you have Claremont from California. They're coming out to run at Detweiler. That should be interesting. Same on the boys' side. The boys' side is ridiculous. You have York, you have St. Charles East, you have Wheaton Warrenville South, you have Hersey, you have Sandburg. And it just starts from there. Monticello is going to be there. Chatham Glenwood's going to be there. There are some good teams there. There's going to be some good racing. So, now we will say goodbye. So, until the next time we meet, I hope to see you at Peoria this weekend. This is Mike Newman, Monday Morning Finish Line. We'll see you next Monday. Have a great week. Bye-bye.